We have a Porsche 911, some internal parts. We have a camshaft. Valve covers the cam tower. The cam goes inside the cam tower. It's our head with valves. This is our rocker shaft. We're talking about rockers and rocker shafts, which is a common problem with Porsches. And what happens, you'll be driving around, all of a sudden you hear this clattering noise, and the car runs a little funny. You're like, what's going on? Did I throw a rod? Something go bad? Actually not. Porsches have a rocker arm that actually rides on top of the cam lobe, which opens and closes, okay? Most cars, they have lifters, everything. Porsche, the rocker runs right on top of the cam lobe. And the old days, the new ones are cast. From 1969 and newer, they run a cast metal rocker. They did this on purpose for if something would go down wrong, it would break, like this one here did. The old days, they were actually forged. Super strong, they would never break. They'd actually break the cam and take the cam, which would push on the head, and the valves would open, and they would hit the pistons. When the valve would hit the piston, it would transfer the pressure and break the piston top. Now, when the valve hits the piston, it pushes it back, it'll break the rocker. You still got a problem, but it's a lot better than when they had these. It did catastrophic damage to it. When the valve hits the piston, what causes that either a misshift or an over rev. Misshift is usually it'll break the rocker instantly because you were going from first, second, third, you go to hit fourth, and you hit second, so that RPM just nails up. It happens so fast, it instantly breaks the rocker. On a over rev, you'll may bend the valves just slightly, and you won't hurt the rocker sometimes, or you will. But usually when I open a motor and it has a big old kiss mark on top of the piston, and the other 5 pistons there's no markings, that's usually a misshift. When I have a kiss on all the pistons, it was just being taken too hard and all the valves kind of smacked. Now, a problem that we have with the rocker shaft is that the rocker shaft slides into the cam tower like this. You can see right here. And the rocker shaft has 2 grooves. And what keeps this little metal piece in this aluminum housing is you have a bolt, a nut, and a hub. And this little shaft right here, very simple way, but can cause problems. When this goes in through here, this will start tightening, and these shoulders will start pushing. See how they're tapered like that? They'll start pushing on this outer edge. That's why it's cut here. And this will start expanding outward, which will dig into the bore of the cam tower. Problem that you have a lot of times on new motors, or you've just pulled the shafts out to clean them, or whatever you've done, by taking these in and out, once the aluminum starts expanding, this is still expands at a different rate, these can snap right here. That's why a lot of people, these go in there also dry. These will cause leaks. That's why this part here, this and this has to be centered into the bore perfectly, or they will leak. But we've seen at about 500 miles to 1,000, or sometimes sooner, sometimes later, these with expansion will start loosening up and moving a little bit, and you start getting that where oil starts leaking. So when you add about 1,000 miles to 500, you do want to check your valves, not just for clattering noise or being too tight or too loose. If you start getting leaks here, it's these little shafts. They're moving around. You need to tighten them up. You got to be careful, but it's very, very small Allen, and they strip super, super easy. Some shops use silicone, JB Weld. We've seen some crazy stuff done to keep these things from moving and leaking. We don't. We do them old school. We polish the boards out, make sure they're clean, take care of the shafts all nice and polished, torque them to the right spec, try to do our best to keep it from moving, but they sometimes still move. We have some on the top and on the bottom. But again, when you do check these, don't just check for tightness. Right here can be broken inside and it's moving. Or we've seen it break, this thing come apart, and there's the rocker laying in there like this. You're like, what the heck? Yeah, this makes some noise and it runs bad. So if you're driving around, you hear some crazy, like clack, 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 clack. A lot of times either this broke, hopefully this didn't break, that means something hit, or this is just loose, letting this rocker move all over the place. Okay? That's it.